Hello. Are we live?
Hey, I just pushed the live button. It's been an hour last night working on the new intro video that I'm doing, and I'm having such a good time. But it's taken me such a long time, and I
You have it
have,
ready?
it's not ready. It's not. It's
Okay.
not. But I'm doing some of the same stuff, but I'm doing it like what I was doing before was just putting up like title cards and then inter interweaving into that a little bit of like and subscribe and whatever, all of that stuff. But I dismantled the title cards into like layered components. So I have the title, your two dads, stuff at the top, and I got you and me floating with a glow. I dismantled these and did separate layers. So now I'm having the title come in at different times and the layer come in at different times. And then there's a certain point in the intro video where I just start swiping back and forth crazy images from the news that we've already covered, or like because of today, I get to put like a flying saucer in it because today on the news we have the Office of UFOs for the Department of Defense. Uh,
Okay.
and I haven't got to it yet. But I'm so looking forward because I'm gonna put Polo Skeletor in there, and I did drop one relevant picture in there that is not in the news. So everything else has been from the news, but this one, and I may take it out. But some time ago, somebody said something, and I got into a fight on Discord with somebody, and it.
You got into an argument with somebody on Discord?
Of course, and I don't know. I don't even know how it came about, but somebody said something like Hitler on a whale, and I was like, "Oh yeah!" And I was gone for like 2 minutes, and I come back and I drop this picture of a killer black and white photo of like a killer whale, and Hitler is riding it like a horse. So, and that's probably not appropriate for a news show, but if I could put a UFO in there now, legitimately, maybe I could figure out a way to get a Hitler riding a killer whale.
Maybe we shouldn't put Hitler on a whale, but that's just me.
Yeah. Anyway, there'll be room for tune-ups later. Good morning, Deacon. Today is what month is it? I don't even
25th?
know. August. It's
Yeah.
August 25th, 2022. It's Thursday. The week is almost over.
Time
And
flows differently when you're an adult.
and the week may be over, but my work is not. I have so much work I'm working on. I did a bunch of stuff yesterday, but I'm getting ready for this convention next week.
Yeah.
And I mean, I am just bushwhacked. One of the things I did yesterday was call Microsoft. I was trying to call Microsoft offices here in Houston. I called over the Microsoft corporate office and said, "Hey, I want to talk to somebody in your energy and uh, cloud development department or something like that." And I get the first of all, do you know how hard it is to get the receptionist at Microsoft? It
No.
is answer the phone and then press one for office products,
Oh,
press
God.
two for you enter the phone tree and you're not getting out. So I was like zero, zero, no, no. Finally, I get a receptionist and I was like, "Can I talk to you? Can I talk to you?" And she's like, "Oh, I can't actually give you any information. Let me give you the number to our corporate office in Redmond." So I was in phone tree hell for a while, and I was never able to talk to anybody. How is it so hard to call any company and talk to somebody? You have any idea?
It I've been going to my optometrist, the same optometrist, for a long time, and I hadn't been in a couple of years. I had my glasses, nothing was wrong. Then my glasses broke, and my spare pair broke, and I just didn't go. I just didn't go, and
Okay.
so in that time that I didn't go, they sold the company to a larger company, a larger national company. So when I looked again, I was like, "Is this the same? It's an eye place in the same spot, but it's called something different." So I called and I got a national phone. It's like I'm calling freaking AT&T or Spectrum or somewhere. I'm like, "What in
Yeah.
the hell?" It's literally like 5 blocks from here. So I finally get to this freaking guy, and he's super friendly. He's got that overly friendly voice where he doesn't sound like this all the time, but this is how he sounds to you. And I would, that's just
Yeah.
pandering to me. Just take that shit off your voice. Just talk to me like a normal person, okay? And so he's sitting there talking, and let me make you an appointment, and I'll get you this scheduled, and we sure will. Jesus Christ. So finally I say, is Dr. Ben still there? You know, this guy, Dr. Leonard, and I've known him for 20 years. He's a guy my age. He plays guitar in a band. And he's like, I don't know. Let me check the directory. And I'm like, are you not in Calvert? He's like, oh, no, we're in blah, 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 Wisconsin. I was like, for real? You're not? I've called Wisconsin or wherever. He's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I was like, you know what? Just cancel my damn appointment. Just cancel it. He's like, oh, are you? Yep. Just cancel it. I'm not going.
You would have better results walking down there and knocking on the door.
I did. I went down there, and the two little girls. There's two freaking receptionists that sat in the front. Two. And what are they doing? They're not answering the damn phones. I can tell you that's one part of their job that they're not doing. I know one thing that they do every time that I go in there. They're doing this.
Yeah.
So they get paid to do this, obviously.
Yeah. Checking the gram.
It must be. I mean, it's an important thing nowadays. The Snap.
They're probably going to be influencers.
The Snapgram.
Yeah, it's just InstaChat.
I'm not going to say which one of my. I have a child that is on the Snap thing, and that right now is a numbers game. So I think we talked about this once when he hit.
What do you mean?
When he hit 100,000 pictures that he's taken, he'll just takes pictures of it's one of my sons, since I'm saying he takes pictures of just anything, like the ceiling, windows, but it makes your little Snap number go up, and that number going up makes that dopamine release in your brain. Okay, that's just a little. That's all it is. And he's so I'm going to create an award. I'm going to go to one of the award shops and get a plaque made for him when he hits 1,000. Because I pick on him all the time. I'm like, what happens when do you get a brownie? Like, does Snapchat send you a cake? No.
So instead of posting quality content, he's just straight dedicated to just literally anything.
It's not anything. Sending it to it would be like me taking a picture of the computer screen and sending it to you. That's all it is.
All right. Well,
each other.
That's a way to go. That's a way to go.
Weird society these kids have today. All right. What do we got to talk about today?
We have so much. This is, I thought, this is going to be nothing news. We're going to have, first of all, we broke some stories. Yeah, we didn't break stories, but we covered stories before some people in the media covered stories later in the day. Like, for instance, one of the things we talked about yesterday was the potential cancellation of the student debt. Remember that? How exciting that is?
Yeah.
So
how exciting is that, really?
The estimate. Well, so we'll start with that. The estimates yesterday were that Biden was going to announce a plan to cancel $10,000 in student debt for individuals making less than $125,000 a year, but not to be outdone, your president and mine.
Oh,
our president, president, the leader
not
of the
my
free
president,
world.
Not my president.
He's your president,
not mine.
It's all about.
I don't think so.
President Joe Biden shattered expectations yesterday by announcing not 10, but $20,000 in student loan for
10.
certain borrowers.
I'm reading says 10.
It is 10 unless you took out a Pell Grant. If you took out a Pell Grant when you were in college, you can get up to $20,000 of student debt. This
is so funny because when I was reading something last night about this, it was saying that I didn't realize it was 20 for a Pell Grant, but it was saying the one particular thing said, click here to find out if you have a Pell Grant or not. I'm like, you dumbasses. This is part of the problem. First of all, they prey on these. They preyed on us when we didn't know anything. We didn't know anything. I took out a Pell Grant. I had a Pell Grant too. I didn't know what the hell it was. I just know somebody was like, this is easy money. It'll pay for everything. So I did it and not realizing what I was doing. So they prey on you. So part of me is like, okay, we've all been preyed on. And now these kids get a little bit of forgiveness back from the being preyed on because
Okay.
they don't even know that they had a Pell Grant. They don't even know
That's
what the
true.
hell they've got.
That's true.
All right. But the other part of me is like, tie your fucking shoes, put your belt on, and go to work and shut up. Shut up. We all complained too. We all complained too. But the problem is we didn't have the damn internet to get on and complain and have all these other people go, you know what? He's right. That poor man's right. We complained, and the people next to us were like, shut up and work, dude. We're sick of hearing you complain because we're complaining too. That's what it was.
Yeah. So, I mean,
So
it's
that's
absolutely
part of me
true.
too.
The loan industry for student loans is absolutely predatory. It
Absolutely.
is, and predatory, and they are taking advantage of the stupidest adults available, which
Yep.
are,
18-year-old
18,
kids.
19, 20-year-olds.
Yep.
They just don't know anything. They
Yep.
don't know. And so is it predatory? Yes, it is. And are they adults? Yes, they are.
Yeah, they're adults.
So
They're adults by our country's classification of the word. If you want to
yes,
say
yes,
they're adults by America's current classification of the word adults. Are they
yeah.
adults? In my opinion, hell no, you're not an adult at 18 years old.
Well, right, yeah. I mean, are they fully developed human beings? No, they're not. They're not fully developed human beings. But in every legal sense, they're an adult. Except, I guess, what is it? Smoking. You have to be 21 to buy cigarettes, or is it 18? And it's 21 to buy alcohol. That's what it is, right? So,
Oh, sorry. No, no.
so
21 to buy
they're.
alcohol, but what did Trump do? Trump did something for tobacco. I think you got to be 21 to buy tobacco now.
Do
I
you
don't think you
really?
got to be 18 anymore. I think it's 21. I'm not
What
sure.
kind
I'm
of
not sure, but I
absolute
think it's
retard
21.
still smokes tobacco?
Well, no, there's a lot of people that still do, man.
Well,
I
all right.
did up until like 2 or 3 years ago. I smoked a pipe. I
Yeah,
smoked cigarettes for like 15, 16, 17
yeah.
years. And then when cigarettes went up so expensive, I could
Yes.
not, yeah, they were like $4 a pack when I quit, 4 something a pack when I quit. And I
Yeah.
worked with a gentleman, an older gentleman in radio, who said that he quit when they went to 25 cents a pack. That was too much. But I quit and they were over $4 a pack. And I quit because at the time, Ashley and I were financially not
Yeah.
as stable, and I could not justify spending $4 a day on cigarettes when
Absolutely not.
we were struggling for bills and food and stuff like that.
You
So
really,
I just couldn't do it. So I bought I would buy a $5 pack of loose tobacco, and I bought a $2 corncob pipe, and I
yeah,
smoked that and that $5 would last me for a month or more, $5 for a month. And then I finally just my
weaned it
kids were
off.
getting
You
yeah,
just
my
tapered it
kids were
out.
getting older, and what it was my kids were getting older, and they kept saying stuff about it, you know,
Right.
smoke, and I can
Yeah.
smell the smoke on other people. Now that I don't smoke, I can smell smoke on other people like,
Yeah.
holy
Oh,
moly.
did I? So, did I tell you when last week when we were shopping for cars? I don't know if I told this story. Last week when we were shopping for cars, uh, maybe a week or 2 weeks ago, I took my family. I mean, I got two little kids, and we got no time. So
Right,
if I'm going to go
right.
to the car dealership, we're all going to go to the car dealership. It's the only way to see if my wife has the car, I like the car, whatever, whatever, whatever. Went to the car dealership, and one of the cars the dealership, we did not buy a car there. One of the cars the dealership brought over was this like Nissan Rogue, and it had been ridden hard. And they opened the door, and it smelled of smoke. And my daughter was like, "Ew, stinky car,
Yeah.
stinky car. I don't want to ride in the stinky car." She literally cried and ran around in the parking lot to get away from it and talked
Really?
about it for 4 days. She
Wow.
didn't want to ride in the stinky car. So,
Aw.
I see the comment here. Bubba
Yeah,
Dozer, welcome to the
good
show. Thank you
comment.
for showing up, sir. I'm JJ. That is Deacon. We will be your two dads. Do you get $20,000 for paying off your wife's student loans?
That's a good
Check
question.
this out.
'Cause
Okay, so hold on.
yeah,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
try to. I'm gonna let
I've
me
got a
try to answer
comment on
some of
this
this.
too.
If you owe up to $10,000 in student loans, Joe Biden, in I guess federally guaranteed loans, Joe Biden is gonna allow you to get it canceled. And if you had taken out Pell Grants when you were getting loans, and you still owe up to 20,000. You'll get up to 20,000, but if you've already paid off your loans like a responsible adult and a
Right.
responsible
What
American
do
and
we
a good
get?
citizen,
What do
uh,
Bubba and I get?
nothing. You get nothing. Yes.
I've seen this question asked like
Yes.
50 times, and there was one
Yes.
where the
You're
guy
gonna
had
get
asked
nothing,
me.
bro.
The guy said, "I just paid off my loans last year." He was like, "I just made the last payment last year. Do I get $10,000?" And then other people were talking about don't this was it was like a tip, and I can't believe it was a tip, but honestly, yeah, you can believe it's a tip. Hang on, I'm trying to do something on the radio here while I'm talking at the same time. But
I
it
had to
was
do a copy run. I'm
no,
done.
you're good. It said, do not go out and like, don't go out today and take out a bunch of loans take out a loan from college, because I'm sure this is backdated, to a certain date. It's not just, it didn't just happen yesterday, or it's not going to happen tomorrow, but who knows? I mean, hell,
Well,
we got sock brain Biden up there, and he might be like, we're going to cover it until from not 1874
well,
to
here's the
23,
thing.
23.
Have they this whole thing is purportedly, listen, they're saying this is to make it fair because school loans are predatory. Did they change anything about the school loan system? No. No, they did not. So they have not changed the problem. They're just paying off, who are they paying off? They're paying off young adults who have college degrees or debt, and are not making more than 125,000 per person, or 250,000 per married couple. That is, homeboy became a doctor and makes 250,000, and he got married and she stays home. Well, they're rich, right?
Mhm.
250,000 a year. Uh, they qualify for that. What's happening? Joe Biden is giving cash to people who got degrees in better paying jobs and not fixing the problem. This is a payoff. This is a bribe to the voters 80 days before the next election. That's all this is. And what's this going to do for our economy? Uh, we're burning $600 billion for nothing.
They
For
don't give a
nothing.
shit. We can print more money, JJ. It's just a little piece of paper.
And
It's
let me
not like
tell
it's
you,
backed by
I am
anything
one of these people that
anymore.
still owes college debt. I've been paying on college debt for like 10 years. I am down to I got some. Am I going to take this money? I'm going to take this money. Yeah, I'd be stupid not to. I mean, I'm
Do
going to
it.
be paying for it for the
Do
rest
it.
of my life, and my
Yeah,
kids are going to be paying for it for the rest of my life. But of course, I'm going to.
absolutely. I've told people before, and when they're like, I don't, I'm struggling. Do I need to go get signed? I want to get signed up for some of this government benefit, and I don't want to do that. And I'm like, you know what? The government has raped you since you started paying taxes. Take their money. Take their money. Yeah, I have no problem taking it. It's because it's not their money. It's my money. It's our money. Yeah,
Bubba
just
says nothing. I already have that.
I know.
Yeah, that's right. You're going to get more of what you've already got. If you got money, you're going to get more money. And if you've got none, you're going to get some more none. That's what's happening. Hey, Joe Biden,
Jeremy,
Democrats,
Jeremy, I got a picture of Elizabeth Warren here on my screen. Do you want to see it real quick?
Pocahontas. He said
Yeah,
Pocahontas. That's
yeah,
interesting. Yeah, yeah. Throw your screen up here.
yeah. Here's a
Let's see
picture
it.
of. I don't know if you've ever seen this picture of Elizabeth Warren. This is her.
That's a truck. Oh, a Grand Cherokee. She
It's
is
a white. It's a
amazing.
white Cherokee. It's
Oh, I
Elizabeth
get it.
Warren. You get it? You get my joke? Ah,
Yeah, that's
thank you.
good.
Thank you. I'll be here all week, folks. I'll be here all week. Tip your
Oh,
waitress.
that's good down. That's good down.
Thank
Good morning, Jordan. Good morning, Jeremy. Uh, so, hey,
We're gonna get
now,
struck by that because I'm a racist now. I've got
yeah, I
Cherokee
don't know.
blood. I've got a lot of Cherokee blood on both sides of my family. I'll show you
I
my
don't want to know
ancestry.
how many people you've killed.
I'll show
Keep
you
it
my
to yourself.
ancestry. If people want to call me racist, just DM me and I'll show you my ancestry. You can
All right.
kiss my ass.
So yesterday I showed you the Wharton table where if $10,000 in student debt was canceled for basically
Yeah.
Whatever per
Do you have that
person.
up still?
Then I had the table up, but I have so many tabs up, and I don't know which one it is. Is it
Let me
this
see
one?
if I can find it
Yeah,
for you.
here it is. I found it.
Okay.
So it's the one called Forgiving. Let me see. Boop boop boo. I got so many tabs up. Forgiving student loans. So yesterday, this Wharton budgetary thing, I had this table up, and it was if the maximum debt forgiven was 10,000 in the first year, it would be 300 billion, and then it would be another 3 for the next 10 years, 344 billion. We are doubling that to pay off up to 20,000 per borrower. Now, not every person that has student debt has over $10,000 of student debt, but a lot of them do.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at somewhere closer to probably 400 to 600 billion dollars over the next 10 years of debt cancellation. We're just canceling debt. And what does that mean? Well, that means if you're a lending institution, you're not generating income like you were. You're not going to be receiving, this is just, I don't think the people that think this is a good idea are the same people. The people that think this is a good idea are the same people that still think it's a good idea to take out student loans, even though they're being
Yeah.
preyed upon. It's
Yeah.
the stupidest people that think this is a good idea. Anyway,
But
okay.
we have told our kids and we've told ourselves for years that you have to have a college degree. You have to
Yeah,
have a
that's
college
true.
degree. And now we've made it to the point to where a high school degree is not, I mean, even you need a bachelor's in college to get to like work as like the manager of McDonald's and fast food
Yeah,
restaurants and stuff now.
right.
And you that was the position for, the high school graduate. I'm not saying anything negative about this. We're talking about people's desire, people's environment, okay? Not talking about your intelligence level. So anybody wants to get offended, blah 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 blah. But a high school degree was about, and for the average. And so a bachelor's degree now is nothing. I mean, I even joked that I was telling our oldest one day because she's a senior, or she's 17, but she's going to be going off to college soon. And I was telling her, I said, "Oh, first year of college is like 13th grade. I don't know why that's all it is 13th grade." It's and honestly,
Yeah.
it's like 13th and 14th grade before you get to before you get your bachelor's. You just have a little bit more freedom, but it's still high school. It's still all the high school bull crap, So I don't know.
Oh,
I
yeah,
I think
what
the
we need is a
problem.
real. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I think the other problem is that we were inundated with 30 years of people that went to college and spent got all these damn loans because now they have a master's degree in lesbian arts studies. You know,
Right.
Polish lesbian arts is what international lesbian arts is what you majored in, and now you're bitching because you can't get a job. My buddy had a bachelor's degree in outdoor recreation. Okay, he went to school to design parks, and he works with foster children. Not anything to do with, he did
Yeah,
at the time.
that's roughly like 20% of college graduates. They
You
don't
you
do
don't work in your
anything.
field. You just
Yeah,
have
at
to
all.
have a degree, and that's what they told me at the time. They were telling me, "Oh, if you get your bachelor's degree or you're working on your bachelor's degree, you don't even have to have your degree. We'll go ahead and hire you. But if they say anything, we can say, well, you're currently working on your degree."
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's it's they,
I mean,
they go to
we
school and
need
you waste your
America
damn
needs to
time.
really reevaluate education. We have so many problems, right? We have the overvaluation of education and a degree. When people that graduate from college, they don't necessarily have the tools and the drive and the um, they're not actually equipped to do the thing they think they want to do in their life. And on top of that, we have public school education that is not equipping kids coming out of school to be
Oh
able to
no,
just
not
enter
at
the
all.
workforce.
Not at
And
all.
on top of that, we have things like teachers unions who are making demands and changes and pressures and contracts. There was a story I didn't put it on the news the other day, but there was a story like 3 days ago, maybe 4 days ago, of I think is maybe Minneapolis Teachers Union. Uh, they had some issue with their contract and they went on strike. When did they go on strike? Like the first day of school. These people, and they say, oh, we're doing this because, teachers deserve more and students deserve more or whatever. If you really thought students deserved more, you would have done a strike over the summer. You wouldn't have waited until the moment when parents needed to take their kids to school and they needed your public service, which is what your job is.
Yeah,
You wouldn't have waited
how
until
much
then when you
inconvenience
had the
did you
most
do to the
leverage and
parents?
then gone on strike
How many?
because
Yeah, how many
you're putting
parents?
people you're putting the hurt on people so that you can get a better
Mhm.
contract, so you can get
Yeah,
so teachers can get a little bit extra dollar.
and
Teachers
and
unions are the biggest problem that we have
I,
because they are shaping the education of kids coming out of high school and they're coming out ill-equipped.
And I have a couple of really close friends that
Angry
are
about that.
teachers in. No, you should be. I have a couple of friends that are really close friends that are teachers in middle school, and they we'll start talking about this sometimes about the whole system, and they start defending it a little bit, which they should. They rightfully should
Right.
because they're teachers. That's their job, and I don't hold them against that. But I try to tell them, this is my standpoint as a parent, as a parent with 5 kids, and they are all, so yeah, it's me and you could get on this teachers kids because I'm kind of in agreement. A lot of these teachers, first of all, shouldn't be in the damn school system. Period. And secondly, they don't. You're not teaching my kid anything today. I mean, maybe a little bit, but it seems like I used to joke that it's called hippie school. I would joke that my kids were going to hippie school today. I was like, y'all going to hippie school today because y'all got couches and y'all just sit around and y'all don't do anything. It's just like, oh, it's independent study time for 4 hours. For 4 hours, you got independent study for 4 hours. You're a child. You need structure. You don't
Yeah, no
need
kidding.
independent study. Okay. Only we got independent study because I was in the gifted classes. I had a gifted class where we did all kinds of gifted upper level stuff, and we had an independent study hour so that we could work on things. Me and my friend built a Lego robot arm back before you could buy them. We were building them when the first little gears came out in the early 80s. So it's this school shit that they do. When these kids went on virtual, I I could bitch for an hour about that because
Well,
they didn't learn
let me
anything.
just let me just say that having a critical attitude towards teachers unions and how much harm they are doing, even with maybe the best intentions, is not the same thing as being critical of the craft of education or the value of education. I value education. I value educators, but teachers unions are corrupt.
Some of them. I value some of these educators because I think
Well, I don't value educators
a
necessarily,
lot of
as
them are
a
these
broad brush, but education.
a lot of them are these damn girls that you knew that was in your class in high school that were just the annoying bitches in high school. And they decided the ones that I'm going to name my children, and they would have their names for their kid picked out as at 10 years old. And then they went on to become teachers, and they are just the dumbest lot because they hang around with all these other teachers, and it's all it is high school for these teachers again. And Alex and them were just come out of middle school, and the middle school that they went to, I swear to God, that's all the teachers were. Was this all the same girls that hung out with each other in high school that I knew? Because I would tell them, I was like, I went to school with all them, and they're still hanging out together, like they did 30 years ago.
Well,
And this teacher was telling Alex stupid stuff. We were talking about gum one day, swallowing gum. And he said, oh, yeah, my teacher said that stays in your stomach. That if you swallow bubble gum, that stays in your intestine for 30 years. And I was like, oh, she was just joking. He was like, no, she was serious. I was like, are you serious? Are you serious? She said that to you?
so this is the last thing I had to
3
say
other
about teachers.
examples.
And when I was in college, I walked past people that were education majors on campus all the time, because you pass all kinds of different people, you see different people, and some people going to and from different classes, education majors. One of them was carrying a bucket of street chalk because for her college class, she was going to do something with street chalk.
Why not?
Lowest possible effort level. This is we need to readdress it. We need to just take it. We need to maybe dismantle it and put it back together in such a way that the first and most important thing, as if you're going to have a
Not
public
now, you
service of
don't.
educators.
Not right now, you
Well,
don't. Not with the people
well,
that. No, I agree with
well.
you.
The maybe the last people that need to be involved in designing an education system are the people that work in the education system. The goal of education should be to equip and develop students to have tools to be successful. People that use street chalk to accomplish that goal, maybe they shouldn't be the ones designing the system. That's all.
Well, I
But
don't want to. I don't want to jump to
yeah, okay,
conclusions. So maybe they were, you know, if they're a young educator, maybe they're educating some smaller. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but I agree with what
yeah,
you said. The educators. I don't know. I think I kind of have to. I kind of think opposite on that a little bit because I think
okay.
educators need more of an input. Now, does every educator need an input? No, because I think about half of them are dumbasses and don't have any reason to be educating kids at all.
Bell
Period.
curve. Hello,
Period.
bell
Yeah,
curve.
yeah.
Half of everyone is stupider than hell.
There are really good teachers out there that do care about teaching students and bettering students. So you can't say all of them because there are some really good ones. Mine lives right here behind the radio station. He's my old history teacher from high school. I had him like 7
Yeah.
classes, and now he comes over, he'll walk in the door and we just sit here and talk about things for like 2 or 3 hours. It's great. I got to talk real quick on the radio.
Yeah. Jordan says he loves his kids too much to put them in public school, and I respect that. And Jeremy says that the last people that should be involved in education are the federal government. And I also agree with that. I don't think we need a top-down education system, but we do need to remove the power and influence of it from. We need to make it success-based. Okay, should be semi-autonomous, but merit-based, success-based, events-driven. Funding from the state shouldn't go to schools to just be spent on whatever projects, but the funding should go with the students, so that parents and students have autonomy to go from this school isn't doing what I want, isn't delivering. Let's move resources to a school that is, and that will cause the market forces to say, "Oh, okay, we can't just like absorb money; we have to like deliver." So then the system and structure is designed for performance, and that's what I'm saying. Okay, so so aside from some of you that are going to be paying off my student debt, let's talk about passing the buck a little bit more. Let's talk about, let's see. Wait, hold on. Let me check the time. Ooh, we only got 30 minutes left. I just want to cover this real quick. For those of you in Texas and probably nationwide, you will be familiar certainly with the story of Uvalde. This has been big news across the country for the last month or two. The Uvalde school district and police force failed to stop a mass shooter, even though seemingly there were little or no barriers to prevent them from taking him down. He was in the building for like an hour and he killed, I think, 19 teachers and 19 children and 2 teachers. And it's a tragedy that someone with mental health illness is a crazy person was able to harm kids, whatever the varied reasons for this taking place.
Okay, dude.
The Uvalde police force failed to protect the public. Of course, the Supreme Court says that that police officers are not required to put themselves at risk for public service. So we're living in an awesome era. But the Uvalde School Board on Wednesday voted unanimously to fire Police Chief Pete Arredondo following the deadly school shooting that saw 19 children and 2 teachers killed. Arredondo's attorney issued a statement shortly before the meeting, condemning what he saw as an effort to scapegoat him for the tragedy, and asserted that the district was not following the legal procedure to fire him.
No, he's not scapegoat. The buck has to stop somewhere. Somebody has to say, someone had to take responsibility. Somebody did. And I'm sorry, buddy, but that was you. And let me tell you, if the police...
He gave the order to not go in. He said, don't go in.
If the police are not supposed to put themselves in danger, then we need to change the definition of what that job entails. Or we're going to have somebody to do that, or the police is just irrelevant anymore, and no one is going to trust them. No one trusts them anymore anyway. I just watched a video this morning of a woman that had that was being pulled over in the middle of the night. She had 3 kids in her car. She was black. She was pregnant, and the cop put on his lights. So if what would you tell your wife if she was in the car with your 2 girls and it was in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere, on a lonely road, and you saw lights behind her? Would you tell her to pull over immediately, or would you tell her to, why don't you put on your hazard lights and go until you see a populated area and pull into the parking lot or something, which is what this woman did. She slowed down. She put on her hazard lights. She pulled over to the side of the road, and she drove until it was like another 2 miles until she got into a gas station parking lot, and she pulled into the parking lot. So the cop runs out of the car with his gun drawn, grabbing her and throwing her out and everything. What would you, I would have told them to do the same thing. It scares me anymore. I have trouble trusting.
You should have trouble trusting. And you know what? You got older kids, maybe not old enough to drive yet, but I don't know how old
she
they are
doesn't.
yet, but if you have older kids, if you have kids right now, like, we want to teach them, if you're in trouble, go to the police and get help, right? But if you have older kids, if your kids are driving, if they're autonomous, if they can do things that interact with police in any way on their own, you as a parent, you need to train your kids right now all the things they need to do to stay safe. Stop the car. Keep your hands on the wheel. Call the police. You get pulled over by the police, you better call the police and say, "Hey, I've been pulled over, and I just want somebody on the record to know where I'm at." I don't see any
problem anymore with calling 911 and saying, "I'm being pulled over. Is this correct? Is this a real officer?"
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that I was always told, was that when we were pulled over, you keep your hands, just put your hands on the wheel and keep it there the whole time, because that automatically makes the officer not have to freaking one less thing that he has to worry about. Because being a police officer is probably a pretty tough job.
Turn your ignition off. Put your keys on your dash.
Yeah,
don't be digging in your bag. Don't be digging in your glove box
for anything. I better get my license and everything because he's going to ask for it because I'm a good on the spot. No, stop.
Turn your phone on. Start recording the engagement just to make sure. Well, you have to protect yourself, and as a parent, you need to teach your kids to protect themselves.
I think that should be the number one.
We can't trust police.
I think that should be the number one thing anymore, is that if you see blue lights behind you, I think there should be a device, and if there's not one, we should invent one. We should have a device to where you could put it on like your steering wheel or your dash, to where you hit that and it sends a signal to your phone to automatically start recording. It turns on your video and your camera and stuff, and it starts recording wherever your phone is. So if you've got your phone up here on your, mounted somewhere, you could just boom, one button, it turns on your video and whatnot, and you could just move, or your my phone lays in the seat, my passenger seat beside me usually. And
well, what did we see? What did we see over the last 2 years during the pandemic, right? During the pandemic, you had mayors, you had state governors, you had whatever issue issue mandates, mask mandates. You had it's quarantines. You couldn't, no travel restrictions, things like that. And in some of these cities and some of these states, if you left your building, you were going to get engaged by the jackboot of the state, the police. They're supposed to be there to protect you. No, 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 no. They're supposed to be there to serve the state, whatever the state wants. And especially, I mean, like, morally, ethically, as a human, I feel like police are supposed to be there to protect and serve the public. But what they think that means and what you think that means is not the same thing. And when it
Oh
comes
yeah, no,
down to it, they're going to do whatever the boss says that pays their paycheck.
yeah.
And if that means pulling everybody over and arresting people and just dispensing with their civil rights, that's exactly what that means.
No, the only people that the police truly protect is their own. They protect their own and they protect their families. If their families, well, I think the one cop there at the Texas, wasn't his wife one of the teachers that got killed or something?
Yeah.
Wasn't he trying to?
And
Wasn't he
Uvalde?
trying? Wasn't he trying to
Yes.
go in and they were keeping him out?
I don't know if she got killed or she definitely called for help. I don't know
know.
if she was one of the ones that got killed or not. But one of the guys that eventually went in, I think he was a federal officer of some other way. That definitely was not his beat. But he got a call from his wife and he showed up at this school and he was like, "I'm going in," and the police were like, "We're not going to let you go in." Well, eventually he went in, and I think he was the one that. He had borrowed a barber's shotgun, and I don't know if he took the killer out or somebody else did. But anyway, the former chief of Uvalde School Board has been fired, and so the city, the school, whatever, they're pinning it on him as his responsibility, and to so many extents it is, but it's not just because there were failures of the state up and down the ranks in that town.
Mm-hmm. No one. What has been the most disgusting about this so far, about that whole situation, is that not
Yeah,
one person has had the balls to stand up and go, "This was I had this part of this was my fault.
we failed. I failed.
I failed or we failed." Not one
Right.
of them son of a bitches has gotten up there and said
Well,
that yet. And that's
I mean, like,
they ought to be ashamed of themselves. I hope they
if
don't.
any one of them had the manhood and courage to take that would be honorable and respectful
Yes,
to admit that you
exactly.
failed. And what else? And you immediately make yourself liable for lawsuits, and you will be sued
Man,
up and down the street.
I can be the most pissed off at a person that I've ever been in my life and don't want to talk to them or look at them for a month. I haven't talked to them in a month. And if they walked up to me and they were truly sincere, they wasn't putting on this fake shit, because I like to consider myself a bullshit artist, and I think I can kind spots kind. So I'd like to think that I'd like to think that I can locate. Hi JJ, how are you?
Don't stop.
My buddy. But if they're truly sincere about apologizing, yes, that changes everything. Changes
Yeah,
everything. Changes
I mean, I
no
don't
no
know.
one. These kids, we have 2 or 3 generations that have never been taught to own up to your mistakes. That it's okay. That part of being a human being is making a mistake, but part of being a responsible human being is going, crap, I made a mistake.
Yeah,
I see that now. I am truly sorry. Can I rectify this mistake in some way? Can I make this up to you? I will learn from my mistake. That's what we do as humans. We don't be like, we're not like,
well, the
oh,
reason we
JJ did
don't see
it.
that is because we're a society of cowards. We're afraid of lawsuit, afraid of exposure, afraid of liability, afraid of
Yeah.
all the effort in our lives. We're just cowards. We're all afraid. And these people, especially, except they were the ones that we trusted with these kids. Don't trust. Okay. Anyway, so
Yeah, let's talk about
we
something.
live in a world that's out of this world, but I don't know how to segue this.
Oh,
I was trying to get
nice
there. I couldn't do it.
segue. Oh no, you
Yeah, I
get
was
the
trying to.
segue of the day.
Out of this world, but
that one.
you know what else is out of this world? Our Congress says that UFOs are not man-made. They're not drones. They're not drones. It's not airplanes. Unidentified aerospace undersea phenomena, UFOs, are not man-made. What is going on here? This is on Just the News, but we've also got a link to an intelligence report, which I have available, CRPT, whatever, it's there. Congress claims that not all unidentified flying objects are man made in a new budget for the U.S. clandestine services.
No. Thank you, Captain Obvious.
In an addendum report to so I obviously am going to ask you if you believe in UFOs in a minute, but hold on. In an addendum report to the Intelligence Authorization Act for fiscal year 2023, Congress noted, quote, temporary non-attributed objects or those that are positively identified as man-made after analysis will be passed to the appropriate offices and should not be considered under the definition as unidentified aerospace undersea phenomena. The budget also says that cross-domain transmedium threats to the United States national security are expanding exponentially. Exponentially. Do you know what that word means, whoever wrote this? According to the Pentagon's definition, cross-domain transmedium threats are able to move from water to air to space in unexplainable ways. The Department of Defense announced in July the opening of the all-domain anomaly resolution office to investigate these threats. That is right. The Department of Defense has an Office of UFOs. The government's term for UFOs, unidentified aerial phenomena, is being reclassified as unidentified aerospace undersea phenomena, along with the renamed office to investigate them. Politicians and government officials have previously been hesitant to claim that there are UFOs that are not man-made.
Okay. So they've said the same thing 15 times in a row. So, let me let you and our folks listening in on something that you may not know. 80 years ago, this country, along with several other countries in the world, fought in a great war. We called it World War II. You might see WWII. No, I'm sorry, I'm being an asshole. Okay, so in World War II, there was a phenomenon that was reported many times by pilots called Foo Fighters. That's where the band gets their name from. The Foo Fighters were these little balls, that would follow around these airplanes. They would come up out of the water, they would follow them, and then they would disappear doing unbelievable things. And this was identified and reported by many different pilots. It wasn't just the same one or two pilots. So, yes, if you want to know more on Foo Fighters, so they're talking about something that's been going on that they've known about for 80 years. So whether or not that means anything or not. So, okay, JJ, your question: do you believe in UFOs? Of course, every single person on the planet should believe in UFOs because UFO stands for unidentified flying object. Anything in the sky that we don't know what it is a UFO. So yes, there is a such thing as a UFO.
Okay. All right. Well, that's quite literal of you, but you obviously know that I'm talking about spacemen.
Right. Yeah, you're exactly right. I'm being an asshole. I'm sorry. You're right. I'm being an asshole. Do I believe in alien life? Okay. I just want to quickly explain this to you. I was just watching something last night that made me think about this. So this is how I'm going to explain this to you real quick. The James Webb telescope that we have, right? The brand new $10 billion telescope. Okay. So it's sending back these phenomenal pictures, and I'm keeping up with it all the time. They think they have seen pictures of a planet, and it looks like there is artificial light on this planet that they're saying. That there's artificial light. They were like, that looks like cities. It looks like what Earth looks like. So it's really interesting. So anyway,
that's awesome. We should go there and wreck their stuff
and steal.
That's what humans do.
Yeah. So we're a virus. So anyway, okay. So the James Webb telescope, back on the Hubble telescope, we found a spot of a night sky that was completely black. And if you hold a rice grain out and it's your extended arm, that's how big the night sky was that was completely black. And the Hubble telescope pointed at that completely black piece of sky for 10 days. After 10 days, it sent back this image, and we got it in the 90s, and it's called the Hubble Deep Space Image. Okay. Hang on. Let me look this up because I'm going for a deep.
All right. Yeah, I want to see this.
let me get this deep space image. Okay, so this is the Hubble deep space image. Okay, you see this?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so this was what was in the
The black spot.
okay, so this is the ultra one. So this is the one that they took again. So this is the second one that they took of the
Okay.
same spot. So this is the black spot after 10 days with the Hubble. So this is what we
Okay.
got. There are nearly 10,000 galaxies in that picture. Galaxies
Right.
as large as our galaxy. Our galaxy has what we estimate to be 100 billion stars that are like our sun, or bigger or smaller or whatnot, the stars. Okay. So
Okay.
our little corner of the galaxy has one star and 8, 9 planets, whatever. Okay. We have life on one that we know of. We think there might be some undersea type amoebic life that was on Mars and on Titan on Jupiter, the moon of Jupiter. So the what's something's buzzing. Okay. So we have taken the web and done this and focused on that same spot, and it has found, oh my lord, dude, there's like let me see if I can find the web deep space image. So this is the web deep space image. Oh, you're seeing it. Okay. Of the same spot. And you can see there's, if you look, there's even more in there.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to get at is there are hundreds of thousands of galaxies that are just in this little bitty rice size spot in the sky from our point of view. Hundreds of thousands of galaxies, as big or bigger than ours.
Okay.
Yes, I no, I do not believe that we are the only sentient life in the universe.
Okay.
No, I do not.
All right.
I just want to point out how vast the freaking universe is. That is 100,000 galaxies that we see in a spot the size of a grain of rice. So no, I
Right.
don't believe that we're the only.
Okay.
So yeah,
I don't know. I have no idea. And
I have no idea either. That's
I take,
what I
I
believe.
take, I take the same kind of mental framework about this as I do with like dinosaurs, Age of the Earth, and a bunch of other things, which are like, is there life? Is there intergalactic life out there? I have no idea. I don't
Yeah,
think so. I don't think so, but
that's
maybe
fine.
there is.
That's fine. That's cool. I'm
Uh,
not going to judge you.
but
Your brother don't think
here's
so
the
either.
my framework for looking at the world is totally unchanged by, oh, there are aliens, oh, there's not. It doesn't change my relationship with what I believe to be God. It doesn't change my relationship with
No,
what I believe to be reality or
no,
anything like that,
no.
because I can't know. And like, for instance, I don't know how old the earth is. Are you a creationist? I mean, I believe in God. I believe God made the earth. I don't know how long ago that was, and I don't know what that process was. And it doesn't matter what I believe about it because we're here right now. And it doesn't matter really what I mean. I just, aliens are like something that is like, oh, it's kind of fun to think about. But do I think that space aliens from across the universe are flying to Earth and zipping around? No, I don't think so. So whatever UFOs are, there's something else. There's something here that we don't understand.
Okay.
That there's something that exists on Earth that we don't understand,
So
and
what
that's
if it's
interesting.
so by that definition, what if it was some life that came to Earth a long time ago that's been here for 4,000,
Maybe,
5,000 years?
or maybe it has always been here. Maybe it's just always been here, and we
Mhm.
just don't understand. I mean, kind of like insane creatures live in the deepest part of the oceans,
Yep. That
and
we that
there's,
we
I mean,
there's
there's,
shit down there that we don't even know about. You're exactly right.
yeah,
We're
exactly. We
finding
had there.
those we're finding those creatures, and I always found this very fascinating. We're finding those living organisms. I don't remember if they're microscopic bacteria or if they're actually like little bitty tiny that we could actually see, you know, with the naked eye. But they were living around those vents in the bottom of the ocean at extremely hot temperatures that we were like, oh, nothing can live down here because it's got all this poisonous chemical and this and this. It's coming out of these hot vents and whatnot. And we found living creatures that are living and thriving in this freaking environment that nothing should be living in. So yes, I do believe that it's like your brother says right here, boom. I got to put this up. I don't believe we're the only sin that lieth either. There are angels and evil spirits for sure. Okay, so yes, I believe that stuff too, because you know, I use the elephant analogy. We thought that elephants just trumpeted for hundreds of years. That was the only sound they're making. And now technology has allowed us to record elephants and see that they're making all kinds of sounds and noises to each other in a volume and a noise that our human ears can't pick up because we got shitty ears. We got a shitty nose. We got shitty eyes compared to some of the animals and stuff in the world. So yeah, we know now that bees and hummingbirds and stuff like that, they can see the different ultraviolet colors that we can't see, and that's what the fragrances and the flowers are doing. We don't see that crap. So do I think there's other entities out there, spirits, good, bad, that are affecting things? Absolutely. Absolutely. In the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you will remember the most intelligent race in the entire galaxy was a shade. We could not perceive them. Our eyes were too shitty to perceive them. All we saw was a shade of blue. And if you watch the movie, there's one part where Zaphoid's up there and they're showing this TV screen.
Yeah.
And they're showing him right before he steals the heart of gold. If you'll look, there's a shade of blue, a little hazy blue standing there next to all the people. Because I pointed out one day to somebody, look, there's the blue that they're talking about. So
I haven't seen that movie in a long, long time. I think Sam Rockwell was in that.
Me and my son watched it. Yes, Sam Rockwell was Zaphoid.
Yes.
So yeah, that's a great. I wish they'd have done the rest of them. I thought the cast was great.
Well, I just don't know. I don't know, but I know this. There are almost. I think we're discovering new species of animals on this planet
all the time,
faster than we can even extinct most of them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, we're trying like hell to get rid of these animals. So I don't know what this thing is
for us.
But we definitely need, now, is it worth having a DOD, Department of Defense office if these UAVs or UFOs or whatever are actually drones or attack weapons or developments
they very well
created by foreign adversaries? Yeah, that's worth it. If they are like some space ghost that comes out of the ocean and, you know, zips around and stuff and has so far historically never done anything to us, do we need a department? Like, who works there and what are they doing?
Okay, let me propose this. What if now, and this is according to Bob Lazar. If you want to watch, I don't know if you'll like it or not, but if you want to watch some very fascinating stuff, watch any documentary on this man. His name is Bob Lazar, and Bob Lazar has claimed.
Yeah, I know who you mean.
Yeah, Bob Lazar.
Well, I know of him. I watched the Rogan interviews.
Oh, he's got another documentary, that's really good. He claims that he worked at Area 51 and he worked with the spaceships that they have. And I think he said there were 7. And he worked on one particular one, and they don't share information. So everybody's always tried to ask him other things, and he doesn't know. He's like, I don't know. Only thing I was hired to do and work on was the engine and to figure out the engine. And what he claims the engine is a gravity well, a gravity producing engine. And he explained it very simply, very simply on how this works. You have a mattress. All right. And you put a Hot Wheels car at the end of the mattress. Okay. That is the spaceship. All right. The spaceship produces a gravity well in front of it or around it. And so in some point, a bit a ways from it. And the gravity well does basically what you would do is if that Hot Wheels was on the edge of that mattress and you placed a bowling ball in the center of the mattress, it would pull the Hot Wheel to the center because the gravity is coming down. You see what I mean? And that is how he explained that worked, and that's how they believed that it worked. And like I said, there's so many people, Joe Rogan and all the documentaries and stuff, they try to ask him other stuff, and I've seen all of them just about, and he never sways. He never sways. He's very believable, because he's one of these people that's like, I've been saying this for 30 or 40 years and y'all have never believed me, so I don't even care anymore. I just don't care. You know,
Yeah.
he's real believable. And so if he is faking it, he's the best. He's the best actor.
I want to see that documentary. I've listened to him. I find his accounts to be interesting. I've listened to his interviews on Joe Rogan. I haven't seen his documentary.
He was just a smart, nerdy guy that was building a freaking. He put a jet. Super smart. He put a jet engine in like
into like a. Yeah, to like a Honda Civic or something like that.
And he was the guy that drove around the town with the damn jet motor in the car. And that's how he got the government's attention.
Definitely like, an eccentric dude.
Guy? Yeah.
Yeah. So, he's interesting.
So here's my question. What if these things that we're seeing, a majority of them or all of them from a certain point in history for the past whatever years, what if a lot of them that we're seeing is actually the government or a government that has figured out how to finally work these things after 80 years or 50 years or 60 years of messing with it? What if we finally figured out how to work it?
Right. I don't know. Oh, you mean like that could be what's zipping around and stuff?
Yeah.
Could be, I guess. I don't know. I mean, so Bob Lazar talked about this hemispherical engine, and it's powered by a particular isotope of like element 113. And the isotope is stable, but so far we've been able to generate an artificial like synthetic element 113, but it's never been stable. The one that they had in limited supply was stable. And if the engine device, which is hemispherical, was closed, that would activate it. There was a couple other ways to activate it too. You could take it apart and activate it. They basically started and stopped it, and it generated energy and gravity, and it somehow transmitted without electrical conduction or anything else. It transmitted the generated energy to other apparatuses on the spaceship. I don't know that any of this is true.
Right.
This could be an entire holarchy, but this is essentially his account. So it's so interesting. Like, what if if none of that else is true, but if element 113 can be stabilized and used to generate power to wirelessly transmit to other things, that alone would be really, really cool, and is not so far out of the bounds of what is perceived, what is believable. Because
do you not think
200 years ago, if you were like, oh, check it out, I have this thing and it's got like power in it, and it sends magical signals to my ears, you'd be like, that's a rock, dude.
Explain this to somebody 100 years ago and they'll lock you up. But you're right. We have, if we can, you don't think that there's people out there trying to figure out how to harness this and make this stable? Because if you can make this stable and that's what it does, and it does what it does, then you've won the world. You've won the game. Everything needs that.
Absolutely.
Everything needs that. Or you become a huge target for every other energy company in the world. All the gas companies and all the battery companies and all this, you become a target.
So we got some new people in the chat here. So this is X, Y, and Z. He said earlier that UFO is simply unidentified flying object. I hope you're still here. Thank you for showing up for the show. Also, a Pringles can in the air is a UFO. So that's true. Jeremy says he doesn't believe in we are the only sentient life. He definitely believes in angels and evil spirits and stuff like that. And I'm not going to agree or disagree with that. I mean, I don't know. I believe in angels. I don't believe that humans can just see angels. And if they could, I don't think it would be an accidental. And we got them accidentally on a jet fighter camera or whatever.
What do you think angels look like? You don't know.
I don't know.
It's going to be JJ.
According to the Bible, they look like something that you can't even really comprehend.
Right, because
they look like spinning wheels and eyes on things. Like your mind can't interpret it correctly.
Notice what they always say. Go back and look at all the times that the angels talk in the Bible, because it's not a lot, but they always say something like, fear me not, fear not, They
Yeah.
always tell you
Yeah.
don't be afraid.
So do I think they look
No, that was
like
artists with the wings and
like
yeah.
Beach Bros
No,
and like
that was the
wings and
artist.
stuff and
That was the
like, oh, I'm an
16,
angel. No, I
1700s.
don't think they look like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, no.
but and I don't know that these things that we're seeing are angels or spirits or anything like that. It literally could be I don't know what.
Yeah, man.
But I don't think that we're accidentally catching angels on camera. I don't believe that.
Okay. No.
Not that I don't believe in angels. I just don't believe that we're going to be able to video record them with a camcorder. So Manuel talked about a space force.
It's not what you
Yeah,
said
we
on
got
my
the DO.
Instagram account, JJ.
So he also says, I would love Eric von Deniken. Eric von Deniken. I'm going to have to look that up. I don't know who that is. I'm not familiar with that. This must be something related to UFO stuff or maybe similar to Bob Lazar. Jeremy says, our leaders are working with evil spirits and evil angels to bring. Have you ever heard of the cult of Moloch?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We'll have to talk about the cult of Moloch sometime.
Right.
Oh my God, we need to do this. Hey, see something else. Like it's August now. Next month, September, we're gonna get into October, and I want to talk horror movies and scary stuff in October. Okay, I already know my favorite horror movie, but we're gonna talk about that. Maybe we'll talk about the cult of Moloch.
Ooh, that's what we can do in October. We can have one movie a day where we recommend or we talk about each. So you can pick one and I pick one because I was a scary movie buff kid. I'm
gonna have to give you 80% of that, and I'll take 10 because while I like some horror movies, I'm not a horror buff.
Okay,
so all the Friday the 13th. When we were kids, it was Friday the 13th and Jason. Oh, okay. I never watched any of those. I watched Jason in Space. That was terrible.
That's the only damn one you've watched. Okay.
I mean, Jeremy may remind me of some that I've seen.
No, that's Jason in Space. If you're watching them, it's I've watched shit that you've never heard of. Have you ever heard of a scary movie called Popcorn? No, I doubt it, but I have.
Have you seen Slither? You should watch Slither. James Gunn, Nathan Fillion.
No.
Okay. It's after 7:30. I'm so grateful that you guys were here. Thank you for watching our show. Today was the best show. We talked about UFOs, and Joe Biden's going to give me like all kinds of money, and you're going to pay for it. It's just amazing. It's the best day ever. Tomorrow's going to be even better. Show up tomorrow, 6:30 in the morning. If you haven't already, please hit like on this show. Share the show with your friends. Do your part. Okay? Stop being so lazy. Okay? JJ, I believe in you. You can do this.
I don't know if insulting our
This is my primary strategy. I'm going to shame them into marketing. It's shame marketing.
Look, sweetie, me and JJ love you very, very much. What JJ is just trying to say, and he's doing it not very eloquently, is that we love you and we think that you can work harder. We believe that you can work harder. Okay.
You're not living up to your potential.
Have a good day at school. You're not.
You have the capability of being so great and so awesome, and yet every day you do this, and you barely show up. I'm surprised you're awake.
Okay, all right. Honey, go to school. Get your backpack. All
right. I had a good time. Well, there's no way that the news tomorrow can be crazier than today. We'll find out. Tomorrow, 6:30 a.m., youtube.com/JJW8071. We are your two dads. I love you. Please put some clothes on next time.